What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage, and we are back today with a Marvel Strike Force Red Star Orb opening video, as well as T4 review on the newest character here, being Abomination. Now, with Abomination, he is the first character that's new being added to this Gamma team, aside from Hulk, as well as She-Hulk. And as you can see, what he's going to bring to the table is smashing through enemies' defenses, as well as powering them up with fellow buffs. So as you can see, high strength and damage. He's going to be kind of the pseudo tank for the team, as well as being able to strip away defense up and granting buffs as well with HP. Each of his turns, he's actually going to be healing himself and flipping positive effects on enemies. So this is going to be interesting to see the mechanic there, as well as granting additional health and drain for the rest of the team. And what is going to be interesting is that he's going to be part of this Hulk Hunter milestone event. So, he is the featured monthly character, kind of similar to how we've seen this month being Deathlock. So that being said, guys, anytime we have a new character in this game, we have an increased drop rate of 15% for a limited time. So you bet we got to take advantage of this. So let's go ahead and do that here. So high level, guys, before we get started, just double check that the icon's always showing in your screen, because you never know if there's glitches and so forth. But as well, just making sure that even in the orbs opening here, and just fact checking, there's been a couple of times where they don't populate, and sometimes it could just be false statistics here. But you can see the 15% is increased here, and we can get started. We've been actually racking up quite a bit of Red Star Orbs, just because there's been a lot of characters coming out, but we've been very conservative in our resources as well. And keep in mind, guys, this is a team that you may or may not want to bring up, depending on how you want to define your war meta. But with any of these, apocalypse teams that we've seen so far, they've been all really proficient and powerful in that said mode. And honestly speaking, even when you're not using them outside that mode intended, they're still very, very strong. So got a 2 there. After opening a few orbs, I do want to just see if I can get ideally a 3. I do like that balance of the 3, because it's pretty cheap regardless, and we have a lot of Red Star Orbs anyways. Worst case, we just build up some duplicate credits. Maybe I even open an Elite 4 following this, but let's open a few more here. I think our chances are pretty good with the number of Red Stars, and it's been consistent. Yeah, we've been having enough time to actually build up resources with these character releases, even despite all these teams coming out. Yeah, we're just getting a boatload of greens here, so wow, no blues whatsoever, not even any of the 3s. But again, anytime you get this, at least we're getting some duplicate Elite 4, and it's gonna help us out for later on. So let's stop at a clean number. Maybe we'll open a couple more here and then open Elite 4. Worst case, I do try to usually open up later if my luck's not falling. I find that sometimes does help with the RNG factor. So got the purple there. Unfortunately, it was Hulk, Leaf, the Red Star duplicate, so it is what it is. But yeah, since we've been getting so much duplicates, let's go ahead. Let's open a couple here. Maybe luck will fall for us today. I notice my game's a little laggy too right now, so let's see how we do. Duplicate 4 right there. Let's go open another one. See how this looks. So got a 5 there for Symbiote Spider-Man. Let's do one more. Otherwise, maybe the luck just isn't falling for me today, but it is what it is, guys. Yeah. So Green Goblin, another duplicate. And you know what? Just for entertainment purposes, because we got a few of them handy, why not? Let's just open one Elite 5 just for entertainment. You can never know where this can take you. Here you guys have it. Coulson Elite 5 as well. So just not falling for me today, guys, whatsoever. Let's go ahead and take a look at his kit review, as well as high level T4 recommendations overall. But this is going to be really interesting to see how this team's going to shape up. I do want to higher than 2 red though, so for sure I'll try again later, but sometimes your luck just doesn't fall in the initial opening there. So Furious Swipes is his basic attack, guys. He's going to be attacking the primary target for piercing damage, as well as chaining. Leveling this ability up, he's actually going to have a chance to actually clear defense up on the primary and secondary targets, as well as applying the defense down. So keep in mind, there's 2 things going on here. He's stripping the defense up and applying defense down. And then as we level this ability up, it's going to always apply that effect. So the T4 here just gives an increase in damage. To be quite honest, I'm not sure how involved he is going to be with damaging and using his basic attacks yet. So I think level 6 is a really good balance here. The additional 50% isn't notable enough to recommend it, especially when we're scarce for materials and we need to save these T4s. Deafening Clap is a special ability, attacking all enemies for piercing again. This is going to be what's notable for his damage, and as well as applying offense down and as well as defense down. So the extra focus is going to apply whenever there's a defense down. So that works really well with his basic attack. This attack also applies defense down later on, as well as the piercing damage going up. And it's consistent with his basic attack, guys. The only difference now is it's actually lasting for 2 turns. Offense down and defense down, so it doesn't really flip. And then lastly, the T4 here clears all defense up from all targets, which by the way is best bang for buck because it's actually going to be applying to everyone, and gaining an additional 50% crit chance against targets with defense down or defense up. So it doesn't really matter what buffs they have. This is just going to shred right through them, especially the piercing damage there. So for sure, I would recommend T4ing this ability, guys, because he's going to be very, very powerful like that. We got Pulverize as an ultimate ability here, attacking primary target for, again, piercing damage. On war defense, and this is where we finally start getting those glimpses of how this team's going to synergize. On war defense, this attack actually targets the enemy with the highest focus instead of the primary target. Next up, defense down is going to apply again with the ultimate ability, as well as what's notable about this one that's different is it's going to flip all evasion, deflects, and minor deflects on the primary target. So it doesn't unfortunately apply to everyone, but this attack also has a stun, and by T4ing it, you do guarantee the stun. So anytime you have a crowd controlling ability, I do recommend T4ing, especially up to level 4, we only get that 50% chance of stunning. So for sure, this one's a no-brainer just to fully utilize this kit, especially on the defensive war team meta. And then last but not least, guys, Grotesque Rage. This ability allows him to actually heal himself, self-sustainability, and as well as gaining additional HP and focus for each Gamma ally. And as you see, the Gamma allies also gain the additional percentage health. So on turn, this is really what's nice going to be about this passive is he's going to be flipping all the positive effects on the enemies, and then that switches to the other direction, right? So by leveling this ability up, it's actually going to flip to at least 3 random ones at level 3. By getting the level 4, increase in health for everyone, as well as giving them a 10% drain. I assume this is how they're going to be able to sustain themselves, because a lot of these heroes don't actually have cleanses and heals. So I believe that this is going to be a really strong component of that. And then lastly, the T4 here, additional healing, and the 20% drain actually gets increased from 10%. And as well, flipping one positive effect on all enemies as opposed to just the 3 random. So this is going to be a no-brainer as well. His special, his ultimate, and his passive make the most sense for T4s, especially if you guys have high reds on him. He's going to be doing a mixture of damage, but as well as being able to have that support for the team, being the brawler, and doing a little bit of everything, if you will. What makes sense the most, just high level based on what I've seen, is honestly speaking, if we're talking about the high end game, a skirmisher does make sense, so that way his ultimate does land, but having Raider can actually synergize extremely well as an ISO 8 with all the piercing damage he does, therefore critting more. The other thing to note here is that if you have him as a striker, his basic attacks are going to continually be able to flip and apply that defense down. So, you know, just keep that in mind. There's a couple things you can roll around with. It really depends on how we're going to shape up the rest of the team. But there you guys have it. That's a deep dive right now. Hopefully good luck in your guys' Red Star Orbs. Hopefully it's better than my luck here. But thank you as always, you guys. Do appreciate you checking my videos. And I'll see you guys in the next one.